Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Tech Gamers World. In this video, I'm going to give you a first-hand look at how I use my THRUSTMASTER T.FLIGHT HOTAS 1 flight stick and T.FLIGHT rudder pedals with Microsoft Flight Simulator on a Microsoft Xbox. So before we get started, if you could click that like button and subscribe to Tech Gamers World, I'm going to have new and exciting content dropping all the time that I think everyone will love. You guys are totally awesome and I appreciate every single one of you. So with that said, let's get to it. This is the reason we are all here. This is the THRUSTMASTER T.FLIGHT HOTAS 1 flight stick. Now I bought this flight stick about 3 years ago from Best Buy, and it has been one of the best video game investments I have ever made. This is an entry-level flight stick with an awesome price point, and it is just really great flight stick and has a lot of value and potential, and I absolutely love it. So like I said, I've had this flight stick for about 3 years now. And if you check out some of my other videos on my channel, you can see unboxings, reviews, and technical videos about the THRUSTMASTER T.FLIGHT HOTAS 1 flight stick. Now I paired this flight stick with the THRUSTMASTER T.FLIGHT rudder pedals, obviously sitting down here on the floor. The addition to these, what makes an awesome flight stick into a totally amazing flight stick. This combination is just awesome. So how do I connect this device to my Microsoft Xbox to play Microsoft Flight Simulator on? Well, I thought I would show you my setup here just to see how I use my THRUSTMASTER T.FLIGHT HOTAS 1 flight stick. So if we pan over here, we'll start at the beginning here. This is my video game console area. I've got my Nintendo Switch, my Microsoft Xbox, and my Sony PlayStation all on this entertainment center, along with some other devices such as a Sony PlayStation Portal, an NES Classic, some Ninja Turtles, and an Atari. Now, one thing you notice here is that there are no wires. I've gone ahead and hid the wires neatly behind this entertainment center. Now, what I got sick of having to deal with was every time I wanted to play the Microsoft Xbox and record content for my YouTube channel or live stream on Kick or Twitch, I had to manipulate all kinds of cables, hook everything up to my media computer just to get it to record that content. So I went ahead and changed all that by consolidating all the wiring and making it as neat as possible. I took the HDMI cables that came out of the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox, the PlayStation, connected them to this splitter right here. This is a 4K, 8K capable splitter. I used regular copper HDMI cables for the short run connections. I then took one cable out of that splitter, ran it behind the entertainment center, stapled it down to the baseboard, ran it around behind the furniture piece underneath the desk, and connected it up to my media computer. So what I can now do is record content right off the system directly. So as you can see on the screen here, there is OBS Studio, which I am using to record content. And what you see on the screen mimics what's on the TV exactly. So what I did to get the signal back to the TV is I ran another HDMI cable along the baseboard behind the furniture piece around here, up through the wall in a proper conduit with the electrical separated in its own, and then connected that HDMI cable to the TV. Now this TV is wall mounted and has all the proper connections to it and has some Govee LED RGB lights behind it, which is pretty cool. So I got around the distance limitation of 4K HDMI by using 4K, 8K capable HDMI fiber optic cables, ran all around the room to give it that nice clean connection. So now I can record any of my content live stream from any of my devices simply by switching the inputs on the HDMI splitter. And then it switches on my OBS Studio on my computer automatically, so I don't have to manipulate or move any cables. Now, how do I connect my flight stick to the Microsoft Xbox, trying to keep everything clean and organized? Well, here's what I did. I installed a USB hub on my desk. That is a simple 4-port USB 3.0 hub, commonly available on any online shop, with a 20-foot cable. I ran the cable down around the floor and over and up to the Xbox. Now, there are limitations on USB cable length. I don't necessarily have those limitation issues because the run is not that far. So what that gave me is a 4-port USB connection to my Microsoft Xbox. Now, if I want to say I want to play the PlayStation and use the USB port to plug in a cable, plug in a controller for that direct low latency connection versus Wi-Fi, I can simply switch the USB cable from the Xbox over to the PlayStation and not have to deal with having a cable run across the floor connected to the USB-C port on the PlayStation or the USB-A port on the front of the Xbox or the USB ports on the Nintendo Switch. I eliminated all that by running the USB cable. So then all I have to do is take my THRUSTMASTER flight stick, plug it in to the USB port, and there it goes. You see the light is on, and we are connected. Now, the T.FLIGHT rudder pedals down at the bottom use a proprietary cable that connects to the front of the THRUSTMASTER flight stick, which you can see there where it says rudder. I know it's upside down. And the switch is set for Xbox. Because this is a THRUSTMASTER T.FLIGHT HOTAS 1, this also does work on a PC. This is supported on a Microsoft Xbox One, S, X, or a PC. PC being Microsoft Windows 10 or 11. At this point in 2024, you should not be running Windows 7 anymore. If you are, I highly recommend upgrading to Microsoft Windows 10, at a minimum, 11 being preferred. So I've got my setup here. I've got my flight stick connected to the Xbox. I've got the T.FLIGHT rudder pedals connected to the THRUSTMASTER T.FLIGHT HOTAS 1. I've got my HyperX headset with mic. I've got my controller for the functions that the THRUSTMASTER T.FLIGHT HOTAS 1 cannot do, which there are some. So you always want to keep them paired. I've got a keyboard and my mouse to connect to my computer. I've also got my trusty Microsoft Surface over here. Now, I typically use this to pull up taxiway maps of runways I'll be taking off from or landing at, so I know my way around. So in this case, that is the Newark Airport taxi map, which is available and up to date as of June of this year. So that's always good to have because it shows you how to taxi around different airports that you've never been to before. It shows the length of runways and the runway locations if you're landing, which is great to have. So like I said, I absolutely love this flight stick. It is just so much fun to fly with and just an amazing all-around product. If you want, you can check out some of my other videos that show you this THRUSTMASTER T.FLIGHT HOTAS 1 in more detail, including unboxing, reviews, technical configurations, technical troubleshooting steps, all that good stuff that comes with using a flight stick with any Microsoft Flight Simulator game, or any flight simulator game for that matter. This flight stick is supported with games like War Thunder, Ace Combat, other stuff like that. And just as an FYI, because I know a lot of people ask, this device must connect directly to the Xbox if you're going to use it with an Xbox, either through a USB hub or the Xbox or the USB cable. You cannot use the THRUSTMASTER T.FLIGHT HOTAS 1 on a Sony PlayStation. If you want to use it on a PlayStation, you need to get a THRUSTMASTER T.FLIGHT HOTAS 4. That will work on a PlayStation because there are games that support the Microsoft Flight Stick on the PlayStation, just not the THRUSTMASTER T.FLIGHT HOTAS 1. So that's it. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. As always, if anyone has any questions or comments, please drop it down below, and I will do my best to get it answered. That includes if you need any technical configuration guidance, setup questions, or anything related to the THRUSTMASTER line of products, I would definitely be glad to help you out. And as always, if you could click that like button and subscribe to Tech Gamers World, I'm going to have new and exciting content dropping all the time for everyone. So I really appreciate it. You guys are totally awesome. Thanks so much for watching and keep on gaming, and I will see you around. Have a good one.